Leo is a 17-year-old boy who lives in Barcelona. Every morning, he wakes in a small apartment near narrow streets and friendly neighbors. Barcelona feels like a home. He loves the bright colors of the buildings and the sound of people talking and laughing as they walk to school or work. In the afternoons, he plays football with friends in a small park near his house. At night, he reads books or watches movies to practice English. Yet in his heart, Leo carries a dream that grows stronger each day. He wants to study in New York City. New York is a place full of lights, tall buildings, and yellow taxis. Leo imagines standing in Times Square under giant screens that shine in many colors. He sees himself walking through Central Park on a sunny afternoon and breathing fresh air under tall trees. He dreams of standing at the foot of the Statue of Liberty, looking up at its green patina and feeling hope in his heart. New York feels like a place of promise and a place to learn. Leo believes that living in New York will help him improve his English faster than anywhere else. He wants to speak with local students, listen to real conversations, and join classes where people talk only in English. When Leo tells his parents about his plan, their faces show both pride and worry. His mother pauses and looks at him with wide eyes. New York is far away, she says softly. His father nods slowly. We only want you to be safe, he adds. Leo feels their concern and understands it. He takes a deep breath and gently puts his hand on his mother's shoulder. I know it is far, he says, but I will be careful. I will call home every day. I promise. His parents stay quiet for a long moment. Then his mother smiles and says, We love you, Leo. We want you to be happy. His father adds, We will think about it. It is a big step. In that moment, Leo learns that sharing dreams can bring both joy and responsibility. To make his dream real, Leo sets simple goals. He writes down 3 targets on a small card and sticks it to his mirror. First, he will learn 10 new English words every week. Second, he will practice speaking for at least 30 minutes every Saturday morning with Mateo, his best friend. Third, he will read one short English story each evening before bed. Each day, he opens his English notebook and writes the date and the new words he learned. On Saturdays, he meets Mateo in the park, and they talk only in English. On Sunday nights, he writes a short summary of his week in a journal called My New York Dream. Every morning before school, Leo stands before the mirror and repeats easy, positive phrases. He says, I can learn English. I believe in myself. He also reads a simple quote on a sticky note. Mistakes help me grow. When he feels nervous, he takes 3 slow breaths and says, I am calm. These small exercises help him face challenges without fear. He practices these phrases in English so that they become natural. His heart feels stronger each day, and his mind becomes more focused on his dream. Leo is not alone on this journey. Mateo shares the same excitement. When Leo first spoke about New York, Mateo's eyes lit up. I want to go with you, he said. From that moment, they became a team. They make plans together, share ideas, and keep each other motivated. They send messages in English every day, asking questions like, What new words did you learn today? Or, How do you feel about your listening practice? This friendship shows that learning with a partner can make practice more fun and less lonely. Now, you can follow Leo's steps and start your own journey. Think of a place you dream to visit or a new skill you want to learn. Write down three small goals and put them somewhere you will see every day. Practice positive English phrases in front of a mirror. Find a friend or study partner to share your progress and encourage each other. Keep a simple journal in English where you write one or two sentences about your day. By taking small steps every day, you will move closer to your dream, just like Leo. Remember, every great journey begins with a single step. Leo and Mateo stand in a long line at the passport office in Barcelona. They fill out forms carefully and smile for their passport photos. Each of them holds a new passport in their hands. They feel both excited and nervous. This document will take them far from home. Next, they sit at a small table with their laptops. They search for plane tickets online. They type simple words like one-way ticket to New York, economy class, and baggage allowance. They compare different prices and flight times. Finally, they choose tickets that fit their budget and click the Book button. A confirmation email arrives. They print the ticket details and save a copy on their phones. Packing day arrives. Leo writes a list in his notebook: 5 t shirts, 2 pairs of jeans, an English notebook, a dictionary, and football shoes. Mateo adds umbrella, warm sweater, and charger. They place each item in their suitcases. They check their list twice to make sure nothing is missing. This careful process helps them learn new words and stay organized. On the day of departure, their parents drive them to the airport. Leo waves goodbye and says, "I will call you every day." His parents smile through tears and say, "Stay safe." Inside the airport, they find the check-in counters. A friendly agent asks, "May I see your passport and ticket, please?" Leo replies, "Here are my documents." The agent checks the screen, takes their luggage, and hands them boarding passes. They walk through security. A guard says, "Place your bag on the conveyor belt." Mateo says, "Yes, sir." They show their passports and boarding passes once more. Then they put their bags through an X-ray machine and walk through the metal detector. A moment later, they are free to go. At gate 12, they find seats near a window. They watch other travelers. Some read books, some talk on the phone. A voice announces, "Now boarding rows 20 through 30. Leo and Mateo stand up and join the line. At the plane door, the flight attendant greets them. "Welcome aboard." They say, "Thank you." Inside the plane, they find their seats. Leo sits by the window and Mateo sits next to him. They fasten their seat belts. A flight attendant gestures and says, "Fasten your seat belt low and tight." Leo repeats the phrase quietly, "Fasten your seat belt." This helps him remember useful words. The plane pushes back from the gate and begins to taxi. Leo feels his heart beat faster. Then the engines roar and the plane speeds down the runway. They lift off the ground and climb into the sky. Leo looks out the window and sees Barcelona growing smaller. He says, "We are in the air." Mateo nods and smiles. Soon the seatbelt sign dings on. The plane shakes gently. Turbulence has begun. Leo feels a little scared. He holds Mateo's hand and says, I am nervous. Mateo answers, It is okay. We are safe. They practice breathing deeply and relaxing. After a few minutes, the turbulence stops. The seatbelt sign goes off again. Leo whispers, I feel calm now. A flight attendant comes by with drinks and sandwiches. Leo says, I would like a sandwich, please. The attendant smiles and hands him a small box. Mateo orders juice and thanks the attendant with a loud thank you. After eating, they read a simple travel guide to New York. They learn words like customs, immigration officer, and baggage claim. Near the end of the flight, the captain announces, We are beginning our descent into New York's John F. Kennedy Airport. Leo says, We will land soon. The plane lowers through clouds and city lights appear below. He presses his face to the window and points. Look at the bright lights. The plane touches down smoothly. Applause comes from the cabin. They unfasten their seatbelts and gather their bags. At immigration, they stand in line again. An officer asks, Purpose of your visit? Leo replies, We are exchange students. The officer checks their passports, stamps them, and says, Welcome to New York. They smile and move to baggage claim. A screen shows their flight number and carousel number. Their suitcases appear on the conveyor belt. They pick them up and head to the exit. Outside, they see taxis and buses. Leo breathes in the cool night air and says, We made it. Mateo nods and says, This is our new adventure. To practice English, they plan simple role plays. One of them will ask at the check-in counter, Where is gate 12? The other will answer, Go straight and turn left. They write a short dialogue in their notebooks. This real-life practice will help them feel ready for anything in New York. Leo and Mateo step out of the taxi into a quiet street in Queens. Their new apartment is small but welcoming, with 2 bedrooms, a tiny kitchen, and a living room. They unpack their suitcases, placing clothes in the closet and books on a shelf. Leo sets up his English journal on the table and smiles. He feels proud to be in New York, yet a little nervous about what comes next. The next morning, they leave their neighborhood and head into Manhattan. First, they visit Times Square, where giant screens flash bright colors, and people from all over the world hurry by. Leo points at a massive video billboard and says, This is amazing. Mateo nods and practices. I see many lights and tall buildings. They take photos and repeat the sentence, learning how to describe what they see. After Times Square, they walk to Central Park. The busy city fades behind tall trees and green lawns. Birds sing and children play nearby. Leo takes a deep breath and says, Central Park is peaceful. Mateo writes the sentence in his notebook. They talk about the calm air and the sound of leaves rustling. This simple exchange helps them use is and peaceful correctly. Next, they go to the Empire State Building. They ride the elevator to the observation deck and look out over the city. From above, cars look like tiny toys and streets like gray ribbons. Leo practices, I see tall buildings everywhere, while Mateo adds, the view is beautiful. Both feel amazed but also proud that they made this journey. On their way back, they realize they have taken a wrong turn. Familiar streets are nowhere in sight. Leo feels a knot in his stomach. He approaches a passerby and asks, "Excuse me, can you help us find our way?" A kind woman smiles and points them back to their apartment. They thank her and repeat, "Thank you for your help," practicing polite English. Later that day, Mateo notices his bag is missing. It holds his wallet and passport. They return to the park and ask the staff, but no one has seen it. Worried, they go to the local police station. Mateo explains, "I lost my bag here." The officer listens, writes a report, and gives them a reference number. This experience teaches them to stay calm and use clear sentences when asking for help. By evening, they return home a bit tired but stronger. Leo reminds Mateo, "We face challenges and we learn English through them." Together, they review new words, write about the day in their journals, and plan tomorrow's visit to Brooklyn Bridge. They know that each small step brings them closer to their dream of learning and growing in New York. Leo and Mateo's journey from Barcelona to New York has been full of excitement, challenges, and learning. They began with a simple dream to study in New York and improve their English. Step by step, they prepared by getting passports, booking flights, and packing their bags with care. On the plane, they faced their first real test when the engines roared and the cabin shook. Together, they held hands, took deep breaths, and used calming phrases in English to stay safe and calm. When they landed at JFK Airport, they passed through customs and immigration, using polite greetings and clear questions. Their confidence grew up with each small success. In Queens, they found a cozy apartment and unpacked their belongings. Each morning, they practiced new vocabulary and wrote short journals about their feelings. In Manhattan, they stood in Times Square under bright screens, felt the calm of Central Park, and looked out over the city from the Empire State Building. They used simple sentences to describe what they saw and felt. Being lost for a moment taught them to ask for help. "Excuse me, can you help us?" A kind stranger guided them home, and they thanked her with a warm, "Thank you for your help." When Mateo lost his bag, they stayed calm and went to the police station. They learned to explain the problem clearly. "I lost my bag here." The officer helped them start a report, and later they got the bag back. Each challenge gave them new words, new confidence, and a deeper friendship. After 2 weeks of study and adventure, Leo and Mateo sat together in their apartment. They opened their English journals and read their first entries. They saw how much they had grown. Their English was stronger, and their hearts were braver. They realized that every small step, every new word, and every moment of courage had built their skills and their spirit. The lesson from Leo and Mateo's story is simple but powerful. When you chase a dream, break it into small, clear steps. Practice a little every day. Use simple words to express your hopes, fears, issues, and successes. Share your goals with a friend who will help you stay motivated. When you face a challenge, take a deep breath, use the language you know, and ask for help. Growing in a new language is also growing as a person. Congratulations for listening to the whole story. You have practiced your English listening and understanding. Now, let us see how well you remember. Question: what did Leo and Mateo do when they first got lost in Manhattan? A. They called a taxi to take them back. B. They asked a passerby for help. Type A or B in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to our channel for more easy English stories and lessons. Your support helps us create free, high-quality content. If you can, please consider donating to help cover our early costs. Every contribution keeps this channel going and helps you and many others learn English. Thank you for listening and learning with us.